Starfield is making its first giant leap forward when it comes to self-improvement with its newest update set to release May 15th. But if you're on Steam, you probably have access to the beta, which I do, so sit back and let's take a look at some of the biggest improvements coming to Starfield this month. The biggest thing that I saw when I fired up the newest update for Starfield was the improved surface maps. When before you would have this kind of like blue screen that kind of represented, you could see some depth in the screen itself that kind of like showcased maybe some terrain that you were around, but overall it wasn't a very good representation of the world around us. Now with this newest update, the 1.11.33 update, we see quite the change. In my opinion, it looks as if Starfield may have the best looking, at least when it comes to like looking at an actual map, the best looking world maps that we've seen in a Bethesda game. You see a complete 3D render of everything around you. This includes cut locations like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So I believe that it's really just rendering this much, kind of like how Skyrim did before, rendering what's going on in the game in this like, little map, three-dimensional map that we can, kind of look through. It's very handy. It looks very good. And in addition to this, a lot of the cities have been overhauled with more fast travel points and location markers. So when before you just have a few of them in New Atlantis, now there's quite a few littering New Atlantis that'll show you every shop that, of note that you can go to and buy things at. And this includes a fast travel point as well. Overall, this is a huge improvement to Starfield, and I think it was one of the biggest things holding people back from maybe trying this game, is seeing that the world, like looking at a map, wasn't very reliable and it didn't look very good. So they, I felt like this was one of the biggest problems Starfield had, and I'm serious, was just the way the maps looked. It makes me want to explore the game more, even on these planets where you land and it's procedurally generated and there's not something set there by Bethesda. It's all being taken care of by this procedural generation. You can still see these maps generate the terrain, generate where you can find traits of these planets. It's a really cool feature, and it'll show you like, it can influence your exploration, as opposed to, I wonder what's actually going to be over there. You can look and see, there is something kind of neat over that mountain. I'm gonna, make the trip and kind of, use my time to get out there, because traveling in Starfield can take a long time, especially when it's across an entire map cell. So this is by far the biggest improvement they've made to Starfield yet. And the rest of the improvements that they've made are very good as well. But this one really hit home with me. I really, really like the new maps, and I can't wait to see what else they do with this kind of thing moving forward. Up next with the Starfield update, we have new gameplay options. Starfield took what we knew about Bethesda's difficulty situation, the difficulty settings when it came to Bethesda games, and threw them out the window. Now there's different aspects of the game that we can fine-tune to whatever difficulty setting we want, such as enemy combat damage, player combat damage, enemy ship damage, and player ship damage. These can be set from very easy to extreme, which is above very hard, and looks to give people even more of a challenge in their Starfield gameplay. One thing that I saw in this gameplay option situation that I actually was very impressed with, because I didn't think it would be addressed, was carry capacity and like cargo access distance, vendor credits. These are things that I saw people complain a lot about when it came to Starfield, saying that they were always over their carry capacity. They wanted to sell things from their ships, but they were too far away. And then the vendor credits, the vendors never have enough credits. I want to be able to make money, but they don't have enough. Those things look to be addressed directly in these gameplay options, where you can now increase your carry capacity. You can increase the cargo distance where you can sell and buy things, or sell things from your ship, put them in your ship, and the vendor credits. These all, when changed, can affect how XP is divvied out by the game. If you increase your combat difficulty, you will start to get more and more XP for the combat that you do. If you decrease your carry capacity, you'll also increase your XP percentage. But if you increase your carry capacity and give yourself the ability to carry even more weight, you'll earn less XP overall. I like this system. It's a good system, and they don't do it with the combat. They don't do a debuff on the combat. So if you wanted, oh, I want to not get my ass kicked in combat so much, and you turn that down, you're not going to get a debuff on XP. You only get an increase if you turn it up higher, which I think is cool for accessibility when it comes to these games. But when it comes to carry capacity, if you want it to be higher, you take the hit for your XP. I like the system a lot. I love all the options that they give us here, and I didn't expect it. This is actually something I didn't expect at all in the update. A lot of these things I didn't think would be addressed because they were just, quote, a part of the game. So this is fantastic, and it will definitely change the way I play Starfield. And I feel like I now have more options because I want my carry capacity to be pretty much as high as it can be so I can grab everything I want and make all the things that I want. So I like that we can do this. Another new feature that we can look forward to in this update is a ship decorator mode. Now, this isn't just the outside of the ship. I'm referring specifically to the interior of ships. Not only can you deck out a ship in whatever you want, but they also started selling different ship parts that were completely bare so that you could decorate them yourselves from top to bottom. I really like that a lot. But the one thing that I was very excited about was this also counts for your Starborn ships. So the Starborn ships that were, they're typically very clean, very sleek, but they have no furniture inside. They don't have a bed. They don't have anything like that. Now you can throw a bed inside your Starborn ship and actually take a nap when you're out there being a Starborn. I like that a lot. There's not much to say about this. Everything that you can do in like the outpost mode where you're decorating the inside of your home or an outpost, you can do here on the interior of your ship. This is a fantastic update that I didn't even know that I wanted until I saw it, and I was like, oh shit, I can throw a bed in my Starborn Guardian now. This fantastic. I know there's going to be a ton of people just decorating the hell out of their ships, and they're all going to look amazing. It's just a very, I'm surprised this wasn't in the game at the beginning, but again, Starfield did have a bit of a problem with some of that kind of stuff at launch, where a lot of features like something like this were missing from the game. So I'm glad to see that this is added, because again, this isn't even something I knew, this isn't even something that I thought that I wanted until I started messing with it, and I was like, oh my god, how could I live without a bed inside my Starborn Guardian? So absolutely fantastic. But I know there's going to be people that are just super stoked on that alone when it comes to this update. So here you go. Now you can put all the couches you want. You can put rugs all up in your ship and make it look as homely as you'd like it to, or as scientific as you'd like it to with some of the other things. It's a really fantastic feature. Hats off to Bethesda for putting this into the update. They've also added tabs to container menus when you're managing your inventory. This is a quality of life feature, again, much like everything else that's been added in this update, that I think is fantastic. Great addition to the game, and it does exactly what you want it to. It is going to help you manage your inventory better. It helps make it more clear when you're in the buy menu, when you're in the sell menu, or when you're looking at your ship's inventory or your inventory. Having it up at the top like that, before it was similar, but this makes it much more clear and much more accessible. It's a much cleaner, nicer setup, and again, very welcome quality of life feature. And speaking of Starborns, now when you go through the Unity, you can change your traits and appearance. This is something I've been waiting for. I thought they might address it in an update, and I'm very glad that they did. Now you can completely change your name, your face, your appearance, your traits, everything about your character when you go through the Unity, so you don't have to be stuck with some of the same traits if you grow and become a different type of player as you're going through the game. This is phenomenal. It makes New Game Plus even better, and honestly, now the possibilities are kind of endless when you do get to a New Game Plus, because you can do whatever. You can just have a completely different launching point than you did before when it comes to your characters. So again, another home run when it comes to a feature that I think was sorely missing from Starfield. When it comes to accessibility, one more feature was added, and that was the ability to turn off the dialogue camera. I like the dialogue camera. I keep it on. But if you don't, and for some reason it messes with you and it messes up your game pacing or something else, now you can turn it off. Pretty much that covers all of the major updates and changes that were involved in this update, though in the video from Bethesda that they posted, we were able to see that they are working on a land vehicle that I imagine you'll be able to launch from your ship and drive around the planets. That's going to make traveling and exploring a lot better and quicker in Starfield. So now when it's like, oh, I need to find the traits for this planet, and one of them's 2,000 meters away or whatever, it won't, take as long and be as exhausting as walking across the entire map cell. So that's very good. But we also saw a little bit of shattered space, just kind of like a little screenshot, little work in progress on somebody's computer, but it looked fucking cool as hell. I'm very excited to see what's going on with that. I will also post right now a list of the bug fixes on screen. So if you're curious about the different bug fixes and quest fixes and behind the scenes stuff like that this update addressed, you can see them now on screen. And if you're playing on Xbox Series X, this update is going to improve your situation quite a bit, as you can now set 30, 40, 60, or uncapped frame rate. And you can prioritize between visuals and performance. So you can change, I want it to look better, or I want higher frame rate. You can be able to change those settings on Xbox Series X coming soon. It's just overall, this is exactly what was needed for the first big update for Starfield, because not only does it give us a lot of the things that people were sorely missing in this game, but it also shows us that Bethesda is willing to sit down and improve on Starfield, and to make it the game people want to play, and to make it the game that people can get lost in, like it honestly deserves to be. I think that give it a couple of years, and Starfield is going to be a game that everybody really enjoys playing, and that everybody has a lot of fond memories about. I just think that it'll probably take a little bit of updating from Bethesda. But this was the update for Starfield. Thank you for checking out my video on it. I hope to catch you on the next one. It has been Mantis.